People don't necessarily want you to succeed. And the bigger your dream, the more people that are going to come out of the woodwork to try to stop you. As Oliver Emberton said, the only way to avoid pissing people off is to do nothing important. But if you're striving for something important, if you're trying to make real change, if there's something in your life that you are absolutely hell-bent to make happen, you have got to understand that you're going to be fighting against something. People are going to be pushing back against you, and it is going to be your ability to hold true to that vision that's going to determine whether you can pull it off. And as Victor Hugo said, you have enemies? Good. It means you stood up for something at some point in your life. And that's what people miss. They somehow want to get through this unscathed. They somehow hope that with this grand change that they want to make, that people just fall in love, that they see your vision, that they fall in line behind you, and that they want you to lead them. That's not the way that people work. Having a vision already puts you in an incredibly rare group of people. Being able to see something that other people can't see, that is the role of a visionary, is literally to interpret the world that other people don't even know exists and bring it into fruition and get people excited about it, get them to fall in line. But understand, when you build an army, you will have an opposing force. But as Mark Twain said, keep away from those who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the really great ones, they make you believe that you too can become great. And that's the kind of person that you want to surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with people that believe in you. You want to surround yourself with people that even when they can't see it, they can see you. Even when they don't understand what you're trying to build, they believe in you and they're willing to get in line and they're willing to meet that opposing force. And when you're able to galvanize people around your idea and push it forward and paint for them the world not as it is, but as it could be, that's when you can make change. But you can't be afraid to piss people off. You have to know that they're coming for you, and you have to be willing to fight. Because if you're not willing to fight, you might as well sit down now. So if you're gonna be one of the few that stands up, you've got to stand up prepared for war.
The biggest poison in us is regret. It's poison. And I push so hard, and will, through my vehicle, which isn't meditation, which isn't health and wellness, which isn't nonprofit. My vehicle's business. I can't help it. It's what I love. I love building businesses. I love competing with you. I want to beat you. I love that game. But through that vehicle, I will always push a lack of regret and awareness to how good it really is. You're more than welcome to tell me about how bad it is or why you can't, because or what, but it's just not true. Because if anybody ever did it, then you can too. Stop making excuses. Stop complaining. Nobody's listening. They may pretend they're listening. The market doesn't care. What you need to do is make one person happy, you. Then you can make everybody else happy. You know why I like making people happy? Because I'm already happy. And so I implore you to take this last little rant and really look at your fucking face and understand, are you doing the things that are putting you in a position to succeed, not just in a business world, but in life? Because it's super important, because boy, when you're happy in life, your fucking business can roll. And so I'm just trying to figure it out. And I've been trying to figure it out in front of you for the last 7, 8 years, trying to figure out the unlocks, EQ, IQ, self-awareness, hustle. I don't know what they are. You know why? Because like I told my man, it's 330 different unlocks. And so I'll go to all of them. They're all tried and true. And one might hit you. Yeah, it was hard work because I'm actually lazy. I talk a good game, but I'm full of shit. Or it might be something else, but fuck, one. And so, You decided to sit? You're into this, right? It's good, right? This is some good shit. You're gonna remember this?
I do.
Good. One fucking life. One life, my friends, one time. And honestly, I'll leave you with this because a lot of you need it. How you make your money is more important than how much you make.
going to tell you something that every successful person has to do, including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you are waking up thinking that it's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump. Now, I'll tell you why I call it jumping. See, God, when He created all of us, He gave every last one of us a gift at birth. He never created a soul without endowing them with a gift. You just got to quit looking at gifts as running, jumping, singing, dance. It's more than that. It's if you know how to network, if you can connect dots, if you draw, if you teach. Some of y'all fry chicken better than anybody else, bake pie. Some of you cut hair, color hair. Some people do grass. I got a partner, man. Never wanted to go out with us because we stayed out too late. Come on, man, go out with. Now I got to get up early, Mom, cutting Miss Johnson's grass. We kept laughing at this dude, cutting grass. How much they pay you? He got a landscaping company in Cleveland worth $4 million. Because all he do is cut grass. But he was gifted at it. I got a partner on a detail shop, make $800,000 a year detailing cars. He got 6 mobile trucks running around. $800,000 a year. All he do is detail cars. That's his gift. That's what he loved to do. You've got to identify that gift. Now listen to me. When you see people in life, when you're standing on the cliff of life and you see people soaring by, when you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. You know, how is he doing that? Have you ever thought, maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in their gift? Because your Bible says, your Bible says your gift will make room for you. Your gift, not your education. You go get an education, that's nice. But if you don't use your gift, that education only gonna take you so far. I know a lot of people got degrees, man, they ain't even using. It's your gift. But the only way for you to soar is you got to jump. You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord. That gift opens up and provides the soar. If you don't ever use it, you're gonna just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man. You just existed. At one point in time, you ought to see what living's like. But the only way to see what living like, you gotta jump. And here's the problem. Let me just be real with you. When you first jump, let me tell you something. Your parachute will not open right away. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you it did, but it don't. When you jump, it's not going to open right away. You're gonna hit them rocks. You're gonna get some skin tore off on them cliffs. You're gonna get all your clothes tore off. You're gonna get some cuts on you. You're gonna be bleeding pretty bad. But eventually, the parachute has to open. That is a promise of God. That ain't a theory, that's a promise. His promises is true, because listen to me. You cannot name one single thing God has not gotten you through. Name it. And if he ain't got you through it, he currently pulling you through it right now. And the living proof of it is you sitting in here. If he hadn't got you through it, you wouldn't even be here. So if he ain't never not got you through it, why would he not let your parachute open? It has to open, man. But it ain't, you gotta jump though. Now, here's another thing. You can play it safe and deal without the cuts and the tears. And you can stand on that cliff of life forever safe. But if you don't jump, I got another promise I can make you. Your parachute will never open. You'll never know. You'll never know what God really has for you. See, your God has a wonderful life for you. Once again, I'm going to refer to your Bible. Now, you go down there, you memorize these scriptures, you don't apply them to yourself. Your Bible says that he comes to give you life and give you life more abundantly. If I were you, I would jump. Because that's the only way to get to that abundant life. You got to jump, man. You got to take a chance. Now, when I get through talking, there are those of you who discuss this in the car. Well, I got bills, and I got bills. Whether you stay on the cliff or you jump, you're gonna have bills. Well, if I quit my job, I'm gonna ruin my credit. If you got a job, you living check to check. Even if you got A1 credit, you can't buy nothing else no damn way. Do yourself a favor, man. Before you leave this world, before you die, jump. Just jump one time.
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You gotta hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened? In my 24 hours. I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me and you let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule.
I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do. This life that you dream about is yours. That thing that stirs in you, ain't it something that you just can't shake? Every time you get settled into a career, something keep on bubbling, something keep on. What is that thing? What you think that is? That's that seed he put in you since birth. But it just needs nurturing, it needs watering, it needs fertilizing. You got to watch it come up. And success ain't easy. You got to do some things for it to grow.
The wealthiest place on the planet, it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. It's the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. There you see potential never realized. There you find books never written. There you find ideas never acted on. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential.
King, don't sell your soul for material things. See, you gotta remember the reason why you started this. You gotta remember the reason why you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this. Remember, we ain't do this to shine on nobody. We did this to take care of somebody. We know what we want. You know what you want. To accomplish something they said you can never accomplish. We want more out of this life. No longer will we listen to the doubters. No longer will we listen to the echoes of people who never believed in themselves. We're not gonna chase the dollar. We're gonna chase the purpose. We're gonna remember why we started. Focus on the purpose. Focus on your why. And focus on the things that you're willing to give your life for.
Because whatever discomfort you experience, whatever challenges or difficulty that it is, you got to handle it. Got to go up in there and wrestle with it. Will it be easy? No. Will it be challenging? Yes. What do you want me to tell you? That it's going to be a picnic? No, it's not. It's going to kick your butt? Yes, it is. Are you going to want to die? Yes, that's a part of it. But that's just what you must go through in order to get where you want to go. And guess what? You are strong enough to do it. You're strong enough, and your life is worth whatever you have to go through to get past this addiction. Whatever you have to do. This dream you got, whatever you want to do, will it be easy to just run out there and do it? No. Will it happen overnight? No. Will it be a struggle? Yes. And then you move on anyhow. You move on past it and you do whatever you've got to do.
If you're truly going to be exceptional, if you're truly going to be radical, you have to be willing to stand out. You have to be willing to be hated. You have to be willing to be controversial. You have to be willing to have certain people talking about you, and you walk in the room and all the conversation talks. You have to be okay with that. Because if you're a radical, that's going to happen.
The problem is everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do. Everybody gets excited. E.T., the guru story, but nobody wants to get up at 3 o'clock. Everybody's excited when I say, I wake up at 3 o'clock, Eric's a beast, 3 o'clock. And then you try it twice at 5, and like for real, you walk out of here pumped up, fired up, you get some new information, you're ready. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. And what you have to understand is everybody that you're going to hear from, Eric Thomas, my mother got pregnant with me at 17 years old, high school dropout, ate out of trash cans, lived in abandoned buildings, slept in cars. Not only do I want to be a beast, if you follow my 24 hours, I do what beasts do. And you cannot, listen to me, I got you. You can't just say you want it. You can't watch the video and say, I want it as bad as I want to breathe. It's cute to say it. But when it's showtime, when the sun comes up, you got all the books, you got all the tapes, you got all the access. Now it's time to hunt. And what separates you from everybody else is that when it's time to hunt, you're ready to hunt.
You begin to realize that your dream and your gifts have so much meaning and so much value for you till your hunger for them will begin to push you past the fear.
Every second you spend thinking about what somebody else has is taking away from time that you could create something for yourself. You're losing. You're losing because you're laying in your bed looking at somebody's fucking glamorous photoshopped picture of them doing something cool, and you're envious and you're jealous and you're impatient, and it's crippling your upside.
Yeah, because that's where I want to be, and I know I'm not there yet.
You haven't done shit.
I know.
So go do shit that actually gets you there so that you earn it, instead of like you dwelling that you're not there and hoping something's gonna happen. I don't know what's going through your mind. You've got to deploy patience, and you've got to love the process. I'm addicted to the process of the battle scars, the setbacks, the lack of, Taylor, I gave up my entire 20s, all of them. Imagine not doing anything fun or going anywhere for the next 8 years, including Saturday and Sunday. That's what I did from 22 to 30. Every day I spent 15 hours a day in a liquor store, thought about a liquor store, built a liquor store, sold wine. If you really want to win, you need to stop giving a shit about what anybody else has and realize that if you put your head down and just work for the next 10 years, no glamour, no new fucking car, suitcase, jewelry, trip, event, no Coachella, no fucking new fucking sneakers, like fucking work, you will have it. And every time you care about one of the things I just mentioned, it will slow down your process of having it.
The single most powerful idea anyone looking to succeed in anything, sports, career, fitness, finance, or life can embrace is that success does not come from making a few major important decisions correctly. And in fact, it's very much the opposite. The truth is, success happens when you make the smallest, seemingly easiest, apparently most insignificant decisions correctly, consistently, every day for a long time.
In order to achieve success, it's not about doing this crazy, brilliant thing. It's not about the dramatic action where you think, it's like you just go against all odds, defy all odds, and it's this one dramatic action that gets you there. It's not about mastering, this complex skill. It's not about having this, innovative, disruptive idea that just changes the entire world. It's like, how can I disrupt the world? Like, that's how I, achieve success. In reality, if you want to achieve success, it's about mastering the small, simple things.
It doesn't matter what you're born with. It doesn't matter your potential, how much, the silver spoon of money you have. All that can be attained if you show up and you're willing to risk failure for success.
You have to be equipped mentally to endure this process. Knowing what you're about to go into is step one. Knowing it's an uphill battle, but a winnable one and one that's achievable.
Success has nothing to do with potential. It's all about the perseverance of somebody. That's what champions do. They show up to the event every single day.
Your life comes down to your decisions, and if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
Motivation has nothing to do with it. See, most people are waiting for motivation when motivation is just a spark to get things moving, but it's your commitment that gets you to the gym every single time. You don't go because you're motivated. You see, you don't do the things you know you need to do to reach your goals because you're motivated to do those things. You do them because you've got the mindset of a machine. You just say, every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. Every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. Every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. You just fucking do it because that's what you set out to do. When the time comes to do the thing, you just do the thing. You don't think about it. You don't wait for the muse. You don't wait for motivation to come. Motivation's some bullshit. You don't need motivation. You need commitment and discipline. When you are moving towards something that's important to you, when you've got a big vision, when you're working towards a goal, you don't want to sit down. You can't rest. Every single waking moment of your day is dedicated to moving forward, and sleep is like the cousin of death. And you need to get busy, focused on where you're going, so much so that everything else is a distraction.
You should seek failures. See, if you're playing it safe, you're not going to win. If you're playing it safe, like that old saying, you were taught when you were a little girl, better to be safe than sorry. Well, that's a bunch of crap. It's not better to be safe than sorry. It's by trying things that you figure out how far you can go. You got to get outside the box. Like it's reported, Edison tried 3,000 ways before he built the incandescent light. He said he didn't fail 3,000 times. He said there was 3,000 different steps to building a light bulb. Well, there's different steps to get to where you're going. And I really do treat winning and losing exactly the same. I do not let it upset me.
Do you think that's a big part of why you're so successful?
Well, it's part of why I enjoy it. Yeah, I think it is, because I'll try anything. Like if I'm into an idea, the idea of losing never enters my mind.
You're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination, and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got.
You have to understand, I don't give a fuck about the end goal. I care about the process, the enjoyment of doing it. You're not enjoying yourself trying to get to $1 million over the next 3 years. You need to start fucking loving the process and the work and the grind. You need to start respecting people that are like sleeping with 4 roommates and buying their t-shirts at Walmart. Don't beat yourself up. Don't hold yourself accountable to arbitrary bullshit fantasies. Just put in work and enjoy that. Enjoy eating shit and dirt and bleeding and the grind, and don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks, why you haven't done it, why are you doing that.
What I will not do is I will not quit. And so I'm saying to somebody right now that's watching me, baby, you got greatness all inside of you. You got greatness all inside of you. But your problem is you a scaredy cat. You soft. And every time it get hard, you quit and you give up.
Okay, success is a process of simple positive actions repeated consistently over time. Okay, it's not this crazy thing. It's the simple stuff that you already know how to do. Okay, there's nothing missing, and this is big. Like, we always tend to think that in order to be successful, we need this superhuman skill or ability. Not really, okay? You already have it all, and you already know how to do it, okay? Successful people, they don't have anything that you don't have, okay? We're all cut from the same cloth. The more you hang out with them, and this is something that I'd highly recommend doing, the more you can kind of see behind the scenes, the more you realize, like, shit, you know, they're just like me.
Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. You should tell yourself that 1,000 times a day. Repeat it over and over and over and over again, because you're gonna bump up against resistance. There's shit you're not going to want to do. But if you want to be successful, right? And like I said, the very first thing is you've got to figure out what success means to you.
As Joseph Campbell said, we're so engaged in doing things to achieve purposes of outer value that we forget the inner value. The rapture that is associated with being alive is what it's all about. That, my friends, is the name of the game. You've got to figure out what it is that actually makes you feel alive. And if you understand that the game that you're playing is actually a game of brain chemistry and that nothing else matters, there's no objective truth, there's no one path to glory, there's no one life for you to live. There's only the subjective truth, the thing inside you, that gut instinct, that voice that whispers to you. You've got to learn to trust that. You've got to learn to trust it by building it up. You've got to learn to trust it by taking actions and gut checking yourself and asking, is that me? Is that who I want to be? Or is that somebody else, cultural voice, my parents, my lover, whatever, trying to speak through me? And as Harley Davidson said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. So right now, ask yourself, who's writing your story? Is it you? Are you really listening to the voice in your head? Are you looking at and living by the things that give you the chills? Or are you trying to live a life that somebody else wants for you? And remember, when you think about that question, what William James said. Act as if what you do matters, because it does. Even if for nobody else, every step you take, every thought that you allow to permeate your mind, everything that you obsess about, your dreams, the things that you want, the hopes that you spend your time with, they matter to you because they tell you who you are. They tell you who you're trying to become. And ultimately, those things that you let monopolize your mind will become you. So if somebody else is holding the pen, if somebody else is forcing you to write something that doesn't make you feel alive, that is a life lost. And that is how you die, my friends, before you ever had a chance to live.